Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work. Triple play, yeah. Triple play, making it triple play.
This is Triple Play Fantasy Basketball Week 15. You see it. On one end, Coach James Lewis. On the other end, Doc Eric Mendelson. Yeah, I used your full government there, sir. How we doing, my man?
Well, you don't know the middle name, so we're a little bit good on that.
Like Michael. What's your middle name, Michael?
No, it's not. Michael's my older brother's name, so you're on to something. But James, what a week of basketball! We're seeing 60 and 70 burgers there, and I got to ask you, when? Because I don't think it's a matter of if. When do you think somebody breaks Kobe's 81 as the second best scoring game ever?
I don't know, but it's probably going to happen on the week of his passing because, we hadn't seen a 60 and we see, 262 and a 70, like 270. That's crazy what's going on.
Who do you think breaks it?
Shoot, it might be D-Book. Honestly, I mean, he's been up there in the 70s 2 times now, and that's like his idol. I mean,
Anthony Edwards is going to break it.
Okay.
I have a feeling Karl Anthony Towns is going to be out for a game or maybe an extended period, and Anthony Edwards is just going to go off.
What's his career high? 50?
Probably something like that. I don't think he said 60.
No. Yeah, I'll stick with D-Book for now. Shout out to the King. Set more records.
Oh my gosh. 49 for Anthony Edwards is his career high.
Okay. Yeah, I said 50, so I was about right. Yeah. Yeah, LBJ, baby, with the game winner at the free throw line, man. His biggest weakness of his career. He knocks 2 of them down to give his team in a classic against Steph Curry, the chef. Beautiful game last night. Cut me up till midnight. What a game.
Coach must be hard talking about this already.
That's gross. Games played this week. There's 22 teams with 4, so it's a loaded week this week. When you talk about the games watched, that means 8 teams have 3. There's no 2s. There's no 5s. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are stacked, and then you see Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday don't have as many games played. And when you look at the schedule, the Lakers, the Knicks, 2 teams we're talking about today, the Sixers, they play those stream days. So if you're looking to use your pickups wisely and not just make a pickup and they're like, oh, dang, I don't even have room on my lineup to put them in, think about those teams. We're going to start with Nick Richards, which is, I want to say, Doc's favorite pickup on the entire year. He
could be up there. He could be up there.
He's been hammering the Nick Richards drum all year, 47% roster. And last week, man, he went off for 26. I mean, you usually see him stay around kind of 10, but 20 points, 10 boards, and nearly 3 blocks in the last week. He's hot. They traded Terry Rozier to the Heat. They're trying to figure that out. That looked a little awkward yesterday as they were playing the Knicks. We'll talk about something else that happened in that game too. But what you still love about Nick Richards?
Little Nicky Richards, 3rd time on the show, the trifecta. I mean, I don't know if we were going to talk about him any more than this. First of all, I don't know if Mark Williams is going to play again this year. That back injury sounds like it's worse than expected. He's had some setbacks. So for this foreseeable future, this is going to go to Nick Richards, assuming he's healthy. And he did have an ankle sprain that caused him to miss 3 games. But the 3 games he's been back, 27, 36 minutes. You see the stats on the board, helping you for points, helping you for rebounds, helping you for field goal percentage, helping you for blocks. And he's looking pretty well doing it. Just don't stream him for assists.
Yeah, he's actually 3rd in the NBA in field goal percentage, shooting 68 on the year. So, I mean, he's not going to hurt you in that department.
That pick and roll with LaMelo, I mean, they're getting him minutes. And Brandon Miller has been off the last 2 games. I know PJ Washington dropped 42 yesterday, but they're rolling with that front court.
You saw Brandon Miller drop Dylan Brooks, like literally put him to the floor.
I didn't, but now I need to.
Oh, yeah, he hit him with the hezzy. and he fell to the floor. And I love when Dylan Brooks finds earth. Andrew Nembhard. We talked about him like maybe I think last week when Indiana had a beautiful streaming week. I was able to get him in every single game he's been producing, shooting a high field goal percentage, giving you dimes, chance for a three or a swipe here and there. But Andrew Nembhard is not playing mid as you called him. What say you? Have you had a change of heart with Andrew Nembhard?
All right, a little
Change
bit.
of heart with Andrew Nembhard?
All right, a little bit. Tyrese Halliburton came back too quickly from the strained hamstring, and he's going to be out. And we thought T.J. McConnell was the handcuff. T.J. McConnell's seen those minutes go down. He played 18 yesterday. He hasn't played over 25 in the last 5 games, and they've been giving it to Nembhard. He's been scoring 15 at least the last 3 games, 7, 8, and 8 assists. I mean, I don't think the rest of the season he's going to keep this up, but I think he's more of a beneficiary with Halliburton out than we thought.
Yeah. Right now, especially 26%, 28% rostered, you can find him in most leagues. So if he's out there, and you're looking for some dimes, which are hard to come by, as we know, go give him a look. Trent Jr. is now playing, I guess not more of his typical minutes, but he's playing more minutes than he's seen all season now that OG Anunoby is out of town. And we know that he's a 3-point sniper, and he's a candidate for some steals. I know he's only averaging 0.6 in the last 2 weeks, but in the past, he's been hovering in between the 1 and 2 range. He'll get you some buckets, and he'll get you threes. And right now, since the new year, he's shooting the lights out. I mean, look at that form, Trent Jr.
I mean, yeah, he's shooting the lights out. I mean, this is more of a James guy. You stream him for threes. Like his ceiling, I know he had 28 against Miami on January 17th, but he's flirting in that 12 to 15 on a good night. And then other nights he's getting you 6 points. But the form is nice. But you know I'm reaching when I have to put in 1 rebound on the little thing at the bottom of his recent games.
It is gross what else he brings to the table. More of a point sleeve guy, but obviously he's more rostered than Nembhard. Nembhard is the clear answer there if you have the choice between the two. Josh Green in the last 2 weeks, a lot of these stats that we're using this week is like 2 week sample size, so it's not just 1 or 2 games. It's more like 4, 5, or 6 games. Last 2 weeks, 13.5 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 3 threes. You gotta love it. Josh Green was actually getting some fantasy production in some of the minutes that he's playing right now.
What I think is important to note, Kyrie Irving, sprained right thumb. The MRI showed an X-ray showed no damage, but he's been out the last 2 games. Kyrie has seemed to pick up a lot of nicks. That's a little preview for our next player. But bruises and, obviously Luka is the 1A option on that team. They don't have a clear 1B option. I know Tim Hardaway Jr. is sometimes that guy. But I think Josh Green, what we've seen, double-digit points throughout the last 4 games. He gives you some rebounds, some dimes, nothing on the defensive stats, but gives you some threes. I just like that he's 6% rostered. I think games that Kyrie doesn't play, he's definitely worth a stream.
Luka's 73.
That's crazy.
What a savant of the game of basketball. He just bullies his way to
James, I know you're not on X. There's a capper on there that said that you should hammer the under Luka 44.5 points and his rebounds on that game. And he got destroyed after Luka dropped 73, rightfully so.
Man, that's an all-time performance. And the highlights to what he was doing was just unbelievable. And he really stepped up this year with his 3-point production. I mean, he's making 4 a game, and second in the league behind Steph.
I mean, he shot
really
25. He shot 25 of 33 and got 7 rebounds and 13 assists, I believe. That's just that's video game numbers. It's crazy. And he makes it look so easy.
Yeah, him, and then what Embiid's doing as well, his his 70 was wild as well because he's still. I mean, I think he could have played 11 more minutes. I think he played 37 minutes. So like to get that is just wild. So Knickerbockers, the New York Knickerbockers, they faced an injury yesterday playing Miami Heat. Julius Randle fell as he was attacking the basket. Jaime Jaquez was underneath him. He landed on his shoulder awkwardly, and you could see that it was a clear dislocation. So with that, I mean, he's a lot of production. I mean, he's 24, 10, and 5. And he's been really rolling for the New York Knicks, who've been playing outstanding basketball. So who fits in the role? Last time we saw Mr. Robinson go down, it was Hartenstein that filled in, and now there's a gaping hole at that power forward position, and it looks like Josh Hart's going to get a little bit of more usage. He doesn't really shoot the ball much, but that's without Julius Randle in the game. I think maybe he'll put up some more shots now that they need some more usage in production.
Well, I was going to say, they traded some depth to get OG, and with Mitchell Robinson down, Hartenstein stepped in the role. But James, he played 16 minutes in his first game back from Achilles tendonitis. Like, that's not something I think that is going to go away anytime soon. I think New York, if they play him, it's going to be limited with the minutes. And Josh Hart, 14 points yesterday. Obviously, what he gives you from a categories league perspective, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, he had a 14 rebound game a couple weeks ago against the Rockets, shooting guard, small forward eligible. I mean, I think he's somebody that's going to be valuable rest of the season, assuming that Randall misses time. I don't think we're just talking about him this 1 week to add.
Yeah, and Yahoo, let's get a power forward eligible right now. I mean, it's going to happen. I'm not going to ask ESPN to do anything crazy like that because they don't.
No.
Nothing.
But you know what? Josh Hart, breast milk advocate. Make sure you add him.
Okay.
You didn't know Josh Hart was a breast milk lover?
No, I guess he
put out a tweet last year, and his teammates like Jalen Brunson like went on him because he was just like, yeah, if you've never tried breast milk, you don't know what you're missing.
Oh, all right, man. You never quite know a guy, right? You never quite know a guy, yeah. But he's gonna benefit as well as Precious Achuiwa as well, right? He's the bigger guy. He's gonna get you some rebounds and blocks, and he's a tough guy. He's a tips type guy, and you can't just throw out Josh Hart like we tried to do in the summer with Team USA, trying to throw him at power forward. Like, he's very tough. He rebounds the ball, but he's still like 6'5". So, we'll probably see Achuiwa benefit in this with Julius Randle absent as well.
Exactly. And once again, if Hartenstein doesn't play a lot of minutes, if they, want to ease him back, if they have postseason aspirations and they want a little bit more depth, I mean, he's given you double-digit rebounds 3 out of the last 4 games. The one game he didn't, it was 9. So don't expect much else from him, even though he did give you 3 stocks last game. But I do think that we're going to see more minutes. Yesterday, he played 31, which was high since he's been with the Knicks. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's flirting around in the high 20s, low 30s, and can give you, double-double aspirations night in, night out.
An 11% roster, you can basically find him anywhere. Josh Hart might not be there.
Wait, so do you know Precious Achuiwa's sibling, their name?
No.
God's Gift.
Yeah.
GOD'Sgift. So it's Precious and God's Gift. What a combo. Precious Achuiwa.
From one beautiful name to a next, Georges Niang.
Niang.
For Cleveland, he's on a little bit of a heater in the last 2 weeks, giving you 3 threes in the Cleveland offense where they just bolster a lot of threes. And if you can hit them, like, you're going to get an opportunity, whether you're him or Sam Merrill. We saw him. We saw Max Strus, Karis LeVert. Like, they have a lot of people that have been helping out in really an injury-riddled season for Cleveland. They're still playing really good basketball. But 33 points on 5 threes against Milwaukee, like, that was quite impressive.
I feel like
impressive.
I got you thinking about our former guy. Yeah, I feel like, James, every other week we've talked about Milwaukee Ford. We've talked about Craig Porter. We've talked about Max Strus. We should have talked about Merrill maybe last week. And right now, Niang's Niang is the hot guy. He has double-digit points in 5 out of the last 6 games. That one game where he hit 33, he shot 13 of 14 from the field, 5 of 6 from 3. He's giving you a little bit of rebounds. Obviously, nothing from a defensive standpoint, but he's fit in that that Cleveland mold right now. And his last name sounds like a noise. Niang sounds like what you would do to bother someone.
Like you do to me quite frequently on this show.
Oh, of course.
Jared Vanderbilt. Give me him over the ladder, over what we just talking about, since we're looking at those positions. I know for some reason he's like a really good fit playing against Golden State, because I think it's probably because of his athleticism, but he'll get you some points, rebound. He'll sneak up and get you a couple assists, and he's been getting steals his whole career. That's one thing that he's dominant at is steals, and we saw he had 4 yesterday against Golden State. He had 3 against in his game prior to that against the Clippers. I love Jared Vanderbilt. He should be in the starting lineup for the Lakers. I think it's the best fit alongside Anthony Davis, and his ability to guard basically 1 through 5 is very impressive.
How old do you think Jared Vanderbilt is?
It's probably like 23.
He's 24, and I feel like he's been passed around a lot. Nuggets to Wolves, back to Nuggets, back to Wolves, to Jazz, to Lakers. You know that Fresh Prince episode where Will like kind of has that relationship with his dad a little bit, and then his dad walks out, and then at the end he's like, "Uncle Phil, why didn't nobody want me, man?"
It was a little bit more tear-jerking than that.
Okay, but I'm just trying to give the synopsis. I feel like that's Jared Vanderbilt at 24. Why did nobody want me, man? I don't have much else to add because I agree with everything you said. The 3 steals over the last week is impressive, and I think he's going to continue to play as long as he's producing. So,
yeah. Thad Young, he's known to get some steals too. In the last week, he had 2 games where he had the same exact statistical
that's
line.
such a Thaddeus Young thing.
12, 6, 4, 2 steals. And the key thing here is we know that he produces when he plays, but he had 25 minutes per game in those 2 games. If he can be in that range, he's gonna be good for category leagues and 12-team formats.
Yeah. The thing about Thaddeus Young, he does this year in, year out, and you don't really question it. I do think with Toronto, they don't have much to play for this year, and just him being one of the vets on the team there, James, our weekly or our yearly time of bringing this up, that just Thaddeus Young is in rare territory with LeBron of 1,000 games to average 12.8 points, 5.8 rebounds, 1.4 steals, 50% from the field, and 33 from 3.
So you had to edit it a little bit?
No, this is the first one I found on Google that somebody already edited.
Oh my God. Yeah,
so,
but be worried because he will fall off the rate. Like he will find himself out of the lineup. I don't know. Like he just gets thrown out. So like while he's still playing 25, it's only been like two game sample size. Give him a look, but at the same time, don't be surprised when he gets back to that 8 minutes.
And definitely a categories league over points.
Yeah. And then John Konchar, who's
the Magic Conch. James, please tell me you know where that's from.
No way. You're killing me today. I don't know what's going on. I feel old.
James, this is from SpongeBob, okay? You didn't have a childhood if you don't know what the Magic Conch is.
Oh, man. I remember my little sister used to watch it.
All right, so for those of you that are tuning in today, you've realized that James doesn't understand any references at all.
I used to do, if we're talking about Doug, Doug Funny, Patty.
Yeah.
Skeeter.
Okay, find a way to work that into this show like I've been doing with these references.
Hey, Arnold. There isn't any Arnold basketball players, is there?
No.
Probably not. There ain't no Skeeters either. So, sorry, man. The Magic
James is limited on the references. I'm going to send it after the show, and James will realize what he's been missing his entire life.
Well, what John hasn't been missing his defensive assignments as he's getting steals galore and blocks. Like, imagine getting blocked by a guy named Konchar. Like, yeah, that's embarrassing. That's not going on a highlight film. But yeah, we know that the Grizzlies are in a muck as far as injuries galore, and he's benefiting a little bit. Much like Thad Young, he's a categories guy.
Yeah, I mean, 25 minutes over the last 5 games. Memphis pretty much punting on this year. We talk about a new Memphis person to add each week, and I think with that team, you just kind of ride the hot hand, right?
Absolutely.
Look.
Keep Vince Williams Jr. because he's
good. Hey, 5 stocks last game, 2 the game before that, 5 blocks the game before that. Like, Konchar doing his thing.
Yeah. Shout out Johnny Konchar and the Magic Conch.
And the one thing I did want to say that we didn't talk about at the beginning of the show, we talked about a lot of Lakers and Knicks. For 76ers, too, if Embiid and Tyrese Maxey miss some more time, maybe they miss, 1 or 2 games next week, look at Paul Reed. I know we talk about him sometimes. Marcus Morris had 17 points yesterday, but those 2 are major sources of that offense. So if one or both are out, that's going to open up a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. It's a shame that DeAnthony Melton isn't healthy because he would benefit big time.
I know. We miss him in the steals court.
Yeah. I had him on my IR. I had to let him go because he never came back. Just fortunate. And that's what you got to cut ties with people. Mitchell Robinson, if he's been sitting there and you got somebody that's injured in your lineup.
Desmond Bane, probably.
Got to get rid of these guys. It's winning time. All right, folks, that's all we have here, Week 15. We'll see you next week for Doc and Coach Lou. Go Ravens.
Unfortunately. Yeah. Go 49ers, though!
Yeah.
Go everybody that's playing James in fantasy basketball!
Yeah. First place in both leagues, still here. You already know it. Thanks for the humble brag. We'll see you next week.
Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work, triple play. Yeah.